Hello guys, welcome to another exciting day. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to YJ Digital World. I remain your regular host, Agu Joseph. On today's video tutorial, I'll be guiding you through on how to create a wonderful looking flyer for a food brand. Okay, so in doing this precisely, one of the first thing you have to consider as a designer is your audience. I always say this: your audience are key. Okay, they are the main purpose of your design. They are the readers, they are the viewers of your design. So they are the people you have to communicate with the use of your design. So in order for you to do this, you have to be very careful with the way you play with your type, the way you make use of colors, and the way you make use of your design layout. Okay, so in this tutorial, I'll be guiding you through on how to achieve this. So in doing this, I'll be making use of Photoshop 2023. Please, if you are new to my channel, do well to subscribe, turn on the post notification, to get notification whenever I upload new content. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching, and please don't forget to give this video a like. Okay, so let's move to the design phase. So first thing first, we have to create a Canva workspace for this project. So we have to click on the new file document here. Here we'll be calling this food. That's the title for the project. Our unit of measurement is in pixels. Width and height is on 1800 pixels. Resolution 300. Color mode remains on RGB. Okay, the RGB color mode are basically for mobile devices, social media platform, or anything that has to do with web precisely. Okay, so this design won't be printed, it will only be used on social media platforms precisely. So after that, you click on the create. Okay, here is our Canva workspace of our Photoshop on which this design will be carried out on. Okay, one of the first thing we have to do here is to create a background in which this design will be carried out on. Okay, so for me to do this, I'll slide over to my adjustment panel here, to my gradient here. I've already created a gradient preset for this project. Here is the gradient. Okay, here on my highlights, rather on my shadows, here are the hex code for the color I'm using. Okay, located on 0 on my shadows. Here is the hex code for the color I'm using on my highlights as well. Okay, located on 100, and you click on OK. Here on the gradient field, I'll have to change the style to radial. Here also enable the reverse option and scale this to about, let me see, 130 is okay for this. Okay, so after that, you click on the OK button. We are done with creating of the fill color. Then the next thing, I have to drag in our resources for this project. Here are the exercise resources, exercise 5 for this project. So I drag them into my Photoshop workspace and drop them into my Photoshop workspace. Okay, so here are all of them. So I have to turn off those ones that I don't need to work with at the moment. So here is the first image. Okay, I'll be working on. So I have to right click and convert this to a smart object. By doing so, it enables me to maintain actual resolution of this image whenever I scale it up or scale it down. Okay, it won't lose quality. Ctrl T to transform. Hold Alt and scale down from the middle. Okay, and align it somewhere this way, and still scale it up this way. Check. Okay, now I notice that my background is very flat and I don't need it to be flat this way. So all I have to do is to create a fill effect for my background. So I'll hit Ctrl Shift N to create a noise effect for my background. Okay, I'll give the name noise. Here I'll change the mode to soft light, turn on the 50% gray option. OK, convert the layer to a smart object. So after converting this to a smart object, we'll slide over to filter, all the way to noise, add noise. Then we'll add the noise in such a way that it won't be too strong on the project. Okay, then after doing that, we'll click on the OK button. Now I need to still adjust the colors here. So for me to adjust the feel here, I need to add more of the orange tone to this. So I'll come back to my adjustment panel here to curves, add more of shadows to this to reduce the highlight. Okay, for this, so select this first layer of my curves, hold shift, select the last layer which is a gradient, hit Ctrl G. Ctrl G enables you to group and call this BG, which stands for my background. So the next phase we'll be working on is the noodles. So for me to make this image come to life, I have to add highlights where needed by using my curves. Okay, and my shadows, my highlights. Here are my highlights. These sliders, these sides are the highlights, and the down parts are called the shadows. So if I come this way, I'm adding more of dark tones to the design project, where if I raise it this way, I'm adding more of highlights to the design project. Okay, that's for that. So after doing that, I need to make this color pop up properly. So I'll come to my adjustment panel to color to the selective colors precisely. So the first color I'll be working on are the reds on this. So take note please that these selective colors are made up of the CMYK and the RGB. Here we have the CMYK, at the opposite side here we have the RGB, which is the red, the green and the blue. So if I need to add red to this after selecting red color from the menu here, I have to slide it this way to add red. But if I slide this way, I'm adding more of the cyan to it. So if I add this way, you notice the red comes to life. So I'll add it to about, let me say, this level. Okay, it's okay. Then come over here to my yellows and increase the yellow. I need it to be very strong. Okay, then here as well, come to my green and slide it RGB. Okay, here's the green, you slide it this way to make the green comes to life. Okay, that's for that. Okay, so after doing that, I want to make a duplicate of the noodles. I'm trying to create a contrast between my background and the noodles pan, precisely like the frying pan where the noodles is. Hit Ctrl J to make a duplicate. Here I have a copy of the noodles. Oh, yeah. Here I have a copy of the noodles. So in order for me to create a contrast between this, I need to create a feel of a shadow, that is a feel that looks in such a way that this pan is actually sitting on the surface, not floating on the air precisely. So all I have to do is to hit Ctrl U here on this new layer and desaturate this precisely. Okay, Ctrl T, transform and adjust the position slightly this way. Check. Okay, after doing that, slide over to your filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I'll choose to blur it out. Okay, I think this is okay this way. Then after doing that, you can come over here again and make a little adjustment. So I need to make a little adjustment on the next layer, which is this other layer at the top here. So all I have to do is to double click, come over here to drop down shadows. I think the shadow is casted properly. I need to create the feel that okay, it's sitting on a surface. I can reduce the opacity, don't need it to be too heavy. Okay, the distance and still adjust it, size. Okay, so after doing that, click on OK. Come over here, reduce the come over here where I have this precisely and scale down the opacity to, let me see, about this. Okay, this is before and this is after. Okay, I think this project is now coming to life. So the next phase here will have to do with placing of text, but before doing that, let me group my layers to make my layer panel more neat and organized. So I'll select the selective colors, hold shift select the last layer of the noodles and hit Ctrl G and call this noodles. Okay, that is for that. So the next phase have to do with placing of text precisely. So I can come over here all the way to my view, slide over to my guides and turn on my guides precisely. So I'll be making here are the parameters I'll be using for my guides precisely. 5% at all edges precisely. So I'll click on OK. I've enabled the guide. So after doing that, let me hit Ctrl T. I need to scale down the size of this pan a little. Okay, now after doing that, I can come to my notepad here, copy this set of text, pick my text tool, left click and paste in the text here. So you can come to your character panel here and change the font to hectare regular, reduce the tracking to 0. Okay, Ctrl T, transform the size, scale it up properly, check. Ctrl A to make a quick selection of the whole project. Pick your move tool and align this horizontally. This is your move to align this horizontally. Okay, Ctrl D to deselect. Okay, so after adjusting the tracking and aligning the text, the next phase will copy in the next set of text as well, which is on our notepad here. So copy it, come back to our project, pick our text tool here, left click and paste in the text, check. Okay, so here is the next set of text I'm using for this. So I'll be changing the font to Montserrat precisely, semi bold precisely. Okay, semi bold. Ctrl T, scale down the size of the text, check. So after doing that, I need to place it directly beneath this, but if I place it this way, it won't be visible very much. So all I have to do is to create a shape along that part to create a contrast so that the text can stand out properly on that region. Okay, so I think here is the hex code for the color I'm using for this. So for here, I'll double click and paste in this color here, drag the rectangle beneath the text layer, pick your move tool and align it this way. You can see, adjust the position. Okay, Ctrl T and still scale down the size. So you can hold Ctrl on your keyboard, your mouse pointer changes to this, where you have your rectangle on your layer panel changes to this. Left click, select your text layer, pick your move to align horizontally and vertically to the center. Okay, that's for that. Ctrl T, adjust this, don't need it to be too big. That's for that. So here again, we'll come to our text and copy this, pick our text tool and paste, check. Please, you have to take this above this way. Ctrl T and place it along somewhere like this. Okay, pick your move tool and adjust the position of the text. That is for this. Okay, so here again, I can choose to make a duplicate of this particular text. Hit Ctrl J. Okay, here I'll turn off the fill, double click on this and enable stroke and set. Okay, I can set my stroke with this set of parameters precisely. Color on white color, size to center, and the rest of them leave the settings where they are. Hit OK. Pick your move to adjust the position of the stroke this way. Okay, that is trying to create a form of playful kind of a font style here. Okay, so after doing that, we move to the next phase that has to do with placing of our logo. Here is the food logo, so I drag it to somewhere here. Ctrl T, move it to the middle. Okay, around this side. So here again, we enable the next, which is this. Okay, Ctrl T and scale this down, position it to somewhere along this part. Make sure they overlap with your guides. Okay, so here we also want to make a little adjustments, but before that, let me place these two. Let me bring them down this way. Ctrl T, transform them, scale them down this way. Come and place them somewhere along the side. Check. Okay, so here I can place this side by side with this. Select the two layers, Ctrl T, and make them align with your guide precisely. Come to your notepad, copy this set of text, pick your text tool, left click and paste in the text. Check, change your character, that your font, to Montserrat. So in case you don't have your character panel over here, you can enable it from your windows here. Enable the character panel, please. Okay, so I've changed this to semi bold. Okay, Ctrl T, scale down the size. Okay, that's for that. Ctrl H to hide your guide. You can now see that our project is finally coming to life. Okay, so we have to proceed again. So here we have some food items such as pepper. So place one over here. Ctrl T to make a rotation of this nature. Scale it up. Check. Ctrl J to make a duplicate and position it somewhere around here. Scale it down, rotate the direction, check, and adjust the position as well. You can still make a duplicate of this. Okay, using Ctrl J. Rotate, right click and flip horizontally. Rotate it, scale it down, check. Okay, you can come over here and adjust it this way. So after doing that, the next set of items is okay. The next set of items is our leaf icon, but before that I need to add some effect on this. I don't need it to stand this way, so I'll come over here to my filter, blur, motion blur rather, add a motion blur such a way like this. Okay, come to the next one, motion blur. You can even adjust the direction of the blur, the angle. Okay, increase the distance as well. So you can come over here, select the layers and group them together and call this pepper or chili. Okay, that's for that. So after doing this, we move to the next part, which has to do with this, the leaf. Ctrl T, select the leaf precisely. Ctrl T, come over here, place one along this part this way. Okay, scale it down, check. Ctrl J. Okay, increase the size of this, come over here, turn it this way. Okay, make a duplicate as well. Ctrl J, or hold Alt and drag from the previous layer, and it will also make the same duplicate. So I also add motion blurs to this as well. Adjust their angles. Okay, can adjust their angles, depends. Okay, likewise the other set of layers will apply the same effect. After applying the motion blur, group the layers together again, call these leaves. Okay, likewise this set of information, and come here, select them and select the last one, call this and group them, call them info. Okay, I'm trying to make our layer more organized. I'm trying to make our layer more organized and neater. Okay, so that's for that. So I'll come over here and make a little adjustments to this. Okay, adjust this way so that this can pop properly. Okay, that's for that. Okay, for my shadows I can still come over here and reduce the opacity for this way. Okay, before, after, before, after. Okay, this is actually okay this way. So that's for this. Now we need to add a little effect to this as well. So I'll drag in this image here, that is this smoke effect here. Check, right click, convert it to smart objects, change the blending to screen. Okay, Ctrl T to transform, hold Alt, scale it up. Resize it the way you want it. Okay, after doing that, check, please take this above. So after doing that, add the mask layer, pick your brush. Okay, after selecting your brush, you can scale up the size of your flow, okay, to 100%. Make sure your foreground color is set on black. Black enables you to hide what you have on your white mask layer. So if I brush this way, you see what happens. Okay, so after doing that, I can choose to still reduce the opacity. I don't need it to be too intense. Ctrl T, still adjust the size. So ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's design tutorial. Please, if you find this tutorial helpful, do well to tag me whenever you post it on any of your socials. Okay, please, if you enjoyed this video tutorial, do well to smash the like button, please. And if you're a new subscriber, please do well to subscribe, turn on the post notification to get notification whenever I upload new content. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching. If you have any question, any comments, you can leave your questions on your comments in the comment sections. So thank you guys for watching.